Okay, good day, everyone. BPPA, BPPB, BPPD, and EPAS-B. So, this is Physical Science Activity Sheet Quarter 2, MELC 8, Week 3, Photon Theory of Light. I know that some of you or many of you find the solving problem and this module hard. So, I will explain it here. I hope that this will help you. So we will just move down, scroll until we go or we reach the page which we will have the solving problems. Okay, I will not discuss this part. I will just go straight to the solving problem. Okay, so before we go continue, let me introduce this to you. We have here the Planck's constant H. It is a constant, so this will always be the value of Planck constant, which it has a symbol of h, small letter h, and a value of 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34 joules second. Joule second. This dot in between the joules and the second is a shortcut for multiply. So joules multiplied by second. Frequency is a wave property, and the energy of a photon is a particle's property. Both frequency and the energy of a photon are related in the equation of E equal to hf. E is the energy, h is the Planck's constant, and f is the frequency. Okay, let's go down, and here it is. So before we go further, photon is a unit of light. Okay, so we have here the sample problem. What is the energy of a photon of red light with the frequency of 4.00 times 10 raised to the 14 hertz? Hertz is the unit for frequency, and it has also it is also equal to 1 cycle per second. So when we solve problems, we always write the given, the required, the equation, or the formula, and the solution. So we'll start with the given. The given is, you can find in the problem, and in this case, it is F. F is equal to 4.00 times 10 to the 14. Frequency is this. So we have to write it here. The symbol for frequency is F, and the value is 4.00 times 10 to the 14th hertz. So it's here. And then, even though it is not in the problem, but we know that the h, which is the Planck's constant, is equal to 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34 joules times second. Just to write it here because we will need that in the equation h. Whenever you see h, it is always 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34 joules times second in this problem. Okay, required is E, energy. So energy, the symbol for energy is big letter E, and the equation energy is equal to Planck's constant times the frequency. After that, you have the equation, you have the given. Just write the symbol for the required, which is E, and then substitute the given data. These are the given data. You just substitute it to the equation or the formula. Okay, let's try. So, solution E is equal to H, which is 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34 joules times second multiplied by, remember, if you are multiplying, there's no need to write x, and between if it is separated by a parenthesis, that means it is already understood as multiply. So h times the f, which is the f is the frequency, which is 4.00 times 10 to the 14, and hertz, remember, is 1 cycle per second. Why we need to change the hertz into 1 cycle per second, so that later we could cancel the second and the second, so that the final answer will be joules, which is the unit for energy. Okay, so what we will do first is just multiply this base number 6.63 and 4.00. The answer is 26.52. The answer is 26.62. So 26. It is the answer here is 26.52. And then after that, you subtract minus 34 to 14. That is times 10 to the 20. Okay, sorry, I cannot write it on top. Okay, or in a small number here on top. Yeah, I could not type it, but it is times 10 to the 20. But the 20 would be, there is a sign, which is positive or negative. It is negative, because minus 34 plus 14 is minus 20. Now, then look, the joules times second would be over what? The second here. So if you multiply this to joules per joules times second is in the numerator, and 1 over s, the s here is in the denominator, so that is why it will look like this here, j times s over s. In this case, the s and the s will be cancelled, and what is left in your answer is j. Now your question would be, why is it that the 20 becomes 19? So in writing the correct scientific notation, you need to have one number on the left of the decimal point. Here we have two numbers on the left of the decimal point. See that? So we need to move the decimal point 1 place to the left. When you move a decimal point and a negative exponent, which has a negative exponent, when you move it to the left, the exponent decreases. So that is why if we move it to the left here, if we move it to the left, it becomes 2.652, and then the 19 will become what? The minus 20 will become minus 19. That is why, and the unit is only joules, because we have cancelled the s and the s, or the second and the second. So if you have answered 2.652, that would, I will consider it correct, but really the final answer would be 2.65 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. Why is it that the 2 in 2.652 was removed? Because of the significant figures. Here 6.63 have 3 significant figures, 4.00 also have 3 significant figures, so the least there would be 3, so your answer will also follow the three least significant figures. Okay, I hope that more or less you were able to uh, understand more the problem. Okay.